I like the spot. Oh, he's going to go for the expansion here, too.
Wow.
Ooh, is this Hero in the booth?
Yeah.
What a fun strat.
And he takes the mask off and it's Hero with that haircut. We're like, oh my God.
Dark Shrine is going to be the play here.
So it's
also,
gonna be DT tech.
Also in the middle. Oh my goodness. It's going to get the Reaper. It's got to get the Reaper. Adept should shade. Heal does not pop. Reaper goes down. So Bunny has no idea what the tech is for Classic. I think that he should have a clue that something is going on, having seen absolutely nothing to this point. But no one is going to expect a Twilight Council, Robo, Gateway, and Dark Shrine proxy dead center on the map with a gold base behind it. Warp Prism now in production here for Classic. For Bunny back at home, he's playing a one-base strategy up to this point. Very fast in tech, getting another tech lab, has a lot of Marines, has some Widow Mines. That tech lab possibly for a Raven. We'll have to see if he switches add-ons. Actually for a Thor, so this is a wild game, Tasteless. And Armory at home does not allow you to build missile turrets, and this Widow Mine drop, although it's doing a lot, what's the answer going to be? Lift it up! It's lifted! That's going to get away! And there is nothing left. There's nothing else to see this. He has to wait until he has 50 energy again. This might just be it.
Well, he's got to make sure he doesn't lose the Warp Prism, which I think the Thor could actually just pin it over here.
Oh, yeah, with the medevac as well. That's a nice play here by Bunny. I mean, Classic, now that he can recognize the situation, would absolutely love to warp in even one more DT here.
Yeah, there's one over here on the left.
Oh, yeah, it goes through the depot wall.
No, I would say I was on the same page as you. I'm like, where is the other DT? So he's going to have a scan in 3 seconds.
Yeah, but there's another Dark Templar coming in. Yeah. Raven only halfway down. 11 SCVs already down. This scan will catch one DT.
He finds one, but you know, you just back away. All you have to do is shimmy out of range of that. I think we're about to see this game just fizzle out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Bunny went for a Hail Mary play, as finally gets cleaned up, but 11 SCVs on one base here.
What an insane game.
Yeah. Keep in mind, there is an armory out for Bunny, so Classic cannot actually kill these Widow Mines until he gets detection.
Now, there is a possibility he could try to really do some damage here by pushing out with this army, but if he loses the army, I think he's going to be kaput. Blink is 10 seconds out.
Oh, the Raven! Oh, the Raven's going to go down!
All right. The DTs are going to be warped in here. Oh, no, sorry, Zealots.
Yeah, the gas isn't just
I guess
there
it doesn't
yet.
really matter, yeah. I think you could probably fight this just as is.
Yeah, it would be close, but without SCVs to repair, you got to think, and yeah, that's going to be it. Man, what a wild game!
Nexus right away.
Yeah.
Now,
standard opening.
There is something to, you know, doing a strategy like that and then sending a probe out immediately. Kind of being like, what am I doing now? But actually, this game's turned out to be pretty passive on both sides already, which is fine.
Yeah, this is as bread and butter as it gets on both sides. Just a Reaper expand here for Bunny, fast expand here for Classic.
Classic wanted to come in here and really kind of almost pull the rug out from under Bunny, and then go into more of a normal play here in Game 2, and maybe even in Game 3. And that's what it looks like, at least so far. We'll see if there's any crazy surprises, but right now this looks exactly like a lot of PVTs we've already seen.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him throw down another Gateway and potentially a Robo before throwing down a third Nexus. But, you know, with Classic, as crazy as he was in game number 1, ooh, these Adepts actually finding some good damage. They get a Marine and are able to completely disrupt the mineral line here. But you're not able to mine for a moment. With Shades, I think at least one of them should be able to get out. Nice control by Classic.
Yep, so far so good here. It looks like he should be able to kill off that Adept. So, I mean, right now, Classic doesn't know what kind of game he's in. Obviously, it's not a crazy one here. We're going to have a third base made in a second, by the way. And protoss is just going to continue to tech up. And we've gone from, you know, pretty insane PVT on both sides in game 1 into a much more textbook PVT. Like, if you're going to teach somebody the matchup, you teach them this game, and as far as what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, this is a very safe way of doing it. A little bit slower tempo on the expansions, but faster tech with a Colossus makes you safer against pushes that can't come out. And this Raven coming through the main base with an auto turret, able to pick off, I think, 1 probe. Auto turret should be able to focus down 1, maybe 2 if he's able to get the injured one. And Stasis, here comes the blink into the main.
Now he could end up getting the stim.
Oh my goodness, he might actually get it. Oh, if only he knew, he would be focusing that down in a heartbeat.
I feel like he does know, but I think he just feels better off going for the tank and then the Marines here.
Yeah, wow, more ambitious than I thought. Is Classic coming in, gets the siege tank, and now that's a lot of Marines also going down, but
maybe it would not have been worth it to actually go for the, kind of a funny exchange. Probably not worth it to go for the stim. I don't know. It's one of those moments you look at it and it can be easy to call it one way, but I guess it's probably better to just get the other stuff he could get. He can also attack him later on when he warps in more stalkers.
I think if you know that it's stim, you go for it, but it's either stim or combat shields.
Yeah,
you don't want the 50% chance, because stim Marines, even without combat shields, they're still scary.
Right.
Drop now coming into the main base here of Classic. Oh, no vision in this corner of the base.
Ooh, this is going to be nasty. How many pylons are actually covering that? Hold up.
Oh, the Colossus is here. It's not back at home, so these Marines are going to be completely uncontested. There's nothing that can handle them. He's going to have to come back home with a recall if he wants to hold on against these Marines, I think. There is a Colossus out now, but with this many Marines, I mean, look at the probe count. It's just evaporating.
Yeah, it is, but I think these infantry can actually be cleaned up. Is that going to be the case back here? It is. Wow, this is a really, really weird game here. Both sides losing a lot of workers, but the number of probes killed here for Classic is nearly fatal.
Yeah, I think it has to be. He's down to 19 workers right now. And even though you're on 3 bases and you can chrono boost out more, I mean, the mineral income is just not going to be there for the next couple of minutes. Meanwhile, Bunny, his economy basically uninterrupted at this point, doubling in worker count. On top of that, he has mules. And, you know, to his credit, Bunny right now in the middle of the map is retreating.
Yeah, and he is killing off some workers. I mean, you know, it's funny. This is one of the older techniques we saw early on in the days of Wings of Liberty, was the Colossus kind of harass. It did buy a little bit of time, though, and has that been enough time to recuperate? Look at the workers. It's 40 to 41. So the question now is can he absorb the blow? But I think Bunny is being really smart. He says, well, what if I just go ahead and get that extra % up, send my workers, and you know, the only thing that could then counter this counter would be if Classic sent his probes, which I don't think is going to math out nicely. But there are 3 Colossi. It's a lot of splash.
It's going to take some insane control from Classic to hold on to this one. There are also Vikings mixed in as well, and this third base is all but forfeit. And here we go, SCV's now coming in, charging in the front line. No disables on the Colossi. Shield battery overcharge does get popped, but the front line for Classic is almost non-existent. Excellent splitting here with the Colossi, but with no backbone to the army.
It looked like it was going to be maybe okay, and then you go back and look at how much Terran has, and that's just, there's nothing you can do. GG.
Yeah.
Looks like we're going to have the 3 Widow Mine drop come in.
Oh, with an armory too.
Yeah.
So, luckily for Classic back at home, he does have a Robo under production. Hopefully for him, the first unit out of that Robo will be an Observer, and just barely out of vision of this medevac. That hurts.
Yeah, it's funny. He's running in parallel with it. Is the pylon going to see it? You know, pylon doesn't have a lot of vision when it's warping.
It's going to go right over it, so it should.
Yeah, he's going to boost over it.
Observer is in production, so detection will be here for Classic very soon as the Widow Mines now burrow. All 3 of them, in fact, burrowing here in the natural expansion. And
yeah, even gets a stalker there.
Yeah, and I love this for Bunny also, vacating the position because he saw the Robo. He knows this isn't the kind of build order win situation where you can get a ton of damage against, say, a Stargate or a Twilight Council that's delaying the Robo.
And I don't blame him. I mean, especially after game 1, he's like, well, maybe you just don't have, maybe you cut too many corners. Maybe I can win with that. But yeah, flying over the Robo was a good scout. So he got his damage and he caught back out.
Templar Archives, also the tech here for Classic. I missed this. Yeah, Classic has a very good idea, especially, you know, with a medevac and 8 bio units out of the field too. And you're going Storm like this with 6 Templar.
Yeah.
It's going to be feeling really good for Classic. One good engagement here could be sending him to the winner's match against Maru. War Prism coming in from the side. Big Storm drops on all the bio. A lot of Marines going down as Classic gets the jump on Bunny's army.
And, I mean, this is a very, very good moment here for Classic. He's on the move, and, you know, Storm is hard to deal with when you attack into a Protoss, but try defending when they're storming you. You don't have a lot of room to move around in.
These Templar on the ground have 2 Storm apiece as well. Keep in mind, there are also Templar in the Warp Prism ready to go. Ghost production has just now started. Classic now pivoting into Colossus production. 1 Robo and a Robo Bay already underway, but I think the real story is how Bunny's going to be able to survive this. Keep in mind, SCV pull's not really viable against Storm, and he's going to try and retreat to the natural expansion behind these Widow Mines.
So he's going to come in now. Marauder's going to come out, and, you know, not a great Storm, honestly. Not that he shouldn't have stormed that at all, but, you know, that's not what you're looking for, is to kind of bruise the Marauders.
2 Ghosts now on the field.
And Terran's going to try to shove back out and take his own third base. He needs to, because protoss is actually going up to a 4th.
Yeah, protoss behind this has been expanding very rapidly, and now 2 Robo Colossus production underway. 2nd Forge being added as well. Photon cannons are getting added. I'm expecting into the expansions on the side to kind of thwart any Widow Mine drops, any Cloak Widow Mine drops that might come in. And Classic, again, with really great observer control, just keeping tabs on this Terran army. Now, there are Ghosts on the field, so before Thermal Lance is done, this is a precarious position for Classic. But, oh, those Widow Mines, the Widow Mines, excuse me, the Templar really get the storms. They do a lot of damage, nothing killed, so the Medivacs will be able to heal them back up. There's not a lot of AoE back on the ground right now, Tasteless.
Yeah, I mean, can Bunny keep trying to hack and slash his way through here?
Colossi are now on the field. No Thermal Lance yet still, so got to be very careful with those. Does Classic. It looks like he is able to shoo away the Terran as these forces kind of get segmented on both the north and the south, and a nice catching Storm. Getting some extra damage there on these Medivacs and retreating Bio. Classic trying to get as much value as he can out of this chase. And any air units you kill here is money in the bag, because Bunny right now, he needs an answer to the Colossi. He needs to start making Vikings. He's already started Viking production, but after that fight, the Medivac count now, it's down to 3.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge moment. Very much so. Classic is in control of this game, and it's getting hard for Bunny. It looks like he wants to try to move out again.
Oh, no.
Well, this is funny.
Oh, no. It's dead.
That is hilarious. Well, I'll tell you what, you know, Bunny needed a moment like that. He got it.
Yeah.
Not every day you get to see just 3 Widow Mines kill off a Colossus.
I mean, 3 Colossus and 4 Colossus, it's a pretty significant difference, you know, with units on the field, so.
Doesn't seem like there's enough Medivacs with the army to really heal this up. He's been roaming for a while, and everything is still pretty low on HP.
Yeah, and I think that's why Bunny Classic, excuse me, was so adamant of chasing that army. And actually, hold that thought as we have another engagement here. Oh, looks like just not enough energy on those Templars to come through the clutch storms, but still Classic able to pick off a lot of units, as this army is mostly Archon and Colossus here. But Stalker's also chasing down the air units, and man, I feel like Classic has this game.
Yeah, this is, I think, almost over. I think what we're seeing Classic do is basically be cautious. He doesn't want to overextend. But this third base, there's really nothing to protect it. I mean, all that Protoss has to do is run it and attack it, and I think everything that Terran has falls apart. In fact, I think this game is basically ended now. The SCVs are going to be wiped, and that's it. GG. Classic goes up against Maru. And
all right, so we have a proxy gate coming out here, Tasteless.
Yeah, this is cool. And
it's the 2nd proxy gate, so there's...
And there's an SCV that's being hidden on the far left. Is he going to make something down here, like a starport maybe?
Factory finished up, and yeah, starport is going down.
Very cool. That being said, you know, the proxy gate activates a little bit quicker here.
Yeah, also notably, there is not room for an add-on on that starport right now, so probably going to be, I would think, a Liberator or a Medevac for a push, but yeah, it's going to be gold base here horizontally by Classic. And also this proxied Stalker hitting so fast right now. That's, what, 5, 6, 7
up next
SCVs?
Here, I'm getting my lotto numbers from State. I can't believe you actually called that.
Oh, 2 Marines already go down as well. This Widow Mine will put a damper on this a bit, unless Classic's able to pick it off or have some sick dodge.
Looks like he has an extra probe and gas. That's not the end of the world, but
he's rallying all those probes to gas, and I think it's for this recall, and I think now he's going to pull them onto minerals.
Oh,
yeah.
Good call, yeah.
This is one of the best parts about doing this build here as Protoss also, is that you don't need to build your SCVs or your drones from that hatchery or have this long transfer. You recall, and then instantly they're there. And
yeah, I mean, not having to have the lost mining time of the transit of the workers going from there across the map is really nice as well.
Now, this is Cloak, Banshee, and Phoenixes are out on the map without an Oracle, so there's a lot of potential for damage to be found here by Maru, which is concerning here for Classic. But again, having that gold base...
Yeah, anything he can clip off here, Classic can, is going to be good. Like that one Marine, that's actually pretty big. A scan here, he sees the target. Wow.
Meanwhile, Classic expanding to the gold base on the top left side as well, setting up a contain here on the main base, and Maru is actually happy for this to happen because that means these Phoenixes are not back at home trying to intercept the Cloak Banshee coming in, and while these siege tanks will fall, the Banshee's starting to rack up the kills back at home.
That was an odd little back and forth.
Yeah.
He was like lifting the tank up and sniping it when he should have been sniping the tank that wasn't lifted up and killing that. I think that actually Classic could have won that fight. If we could like go back and watch that in slow-mo, it was like a really weird moment where it's like, now I mean, that being said, Maru might still lose this game, right? He doesn't have any tanks for the time being, but that was kind of a funny moment.
Yeah, it was an awkward one for sure. And now this Cloak Banshee here at the gold base, second expansion here for Classic. The Oracle will be able to clean this up, but there are 3 Banshees already on the field and a 4th one also in production. So all these probes are just running around the map. 20 of them in total have gone down. Now the Oracle, it's very limited with these revelations, right? You have to slide all the way around to these very different locations to try and grasp control of the situation. And although that fight did not go as well for Classic as it could have, he still killed those tanks, but the worker count's now 26 to 22 in Maru's favor.
Yeah, Maru's ahead, but a gold base makes all the difference in the world. He's still making tanks one by one. Oh my God, can he get this Banshee?
Yeah, I can't cloak either.
That's a nice catch. And there's another one coming down, but when you have Phoenixes out, you can just scoop up the tank and assassinate it. I mean, it's a very easy way to approach the game. He's gonna go for the battery now.
Yeah, we'll make it easier for him to pick off these probes. Now they have to vacate the vicinity. Stalker is getting warped in. I would love for Classic to just make one more Oracle to try and get, this situation firmly under control, as there is still one more Banshee on the map. It is here by the starport. Another one actually in production. So, for Maru right now on one base still, keep in mind, he really has to keep this damage coming because, as you said, the gold bases, they do make the difference. It is 25 workers for Classic to the 27 of Maru, but the mineral income, even with mules, should be relatively close.
Okay, now 3 tanks out, 3 Phoenixes if he needs to.
I'm surprised.
Here we go.
I am surprised Classic went for that fight there. That was a ton of Marines.
The Marines alone were enough of a threat. Another miscalculation, another moment where he miscontrols a little bit here.
And the real threat now for Classic is that his army does not scale well over time, whereas Maru's absolutely does with combat shields, with eventually stim.
But it's still one base.
Yeah, actually no tech labs on these barracks either, so.
It's a real slow drip of units coming out for Terran. It's scary, and every time we see Classic mismanage a fight, it gets even scarier, but.
Yeah, hold on.
Can he just evacuate the probes
He
kind of
should
buy
be,
time? I mean, he can kind of. He's got 3 different spots on the map, right?
He should be recalling these out.
Oh my God, a counter.
Yeah, recall up here to this gold base. There's a Banshee waiting for them though, as even more probes go down. But I actually didn't catch until now that Maru doesn't have any tac labs on any barracks. So there's no stim, there's no combat shields underway. But still, 30 Marines on the field. This is a ton.
Wow, look at that. He kills the Nexus and just goes immediately to the next spot.
Yeah, he's gonna try.
He's gonna try to decapitate him. He's gonna go right in here, like a stake into the heart. He's gonna try to just kill Classic and hit him where it hurts most. Because from there, he could just sit back and produce, right? He's gonna be able to kill this Nexus and all the infrastructure unless Classic has an answer right here, right now.
Yeah, but with only 31 army supply, I don't think he is gonna have an answer, Tasteless. These gateways firmly unpowered, so the production all but non-existent here for Classic, and finally he's gonna be able to clean up this Banshee here on the top side, but the standing army for Classic just does not have a chance against 36 Marines and 4 siege tanks of Maru. The main Nexus will fall. And after an absolutely crazy map number 1, with Maru still on one base at 10 minutes and Classic expanding to both golds, I think Terran's gonna get the better end of this one.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Protoss wants to try to come in here for a trade, and maybe they can get a little bit of that off here. I'm surprised he's not pulling SCVs, but it looks like Maru has the math better than me. He says he can get this exactly.
The Marine tank ball, oh, by the way, this proxy is going to get scattered here by the Reaper for Maru, so Classic's plan already going awry in this game, but just to touch back on that in game number 1 is, if Terran is just building Marines and siege tanks, that army is going to scale way better than your gateway army without charge, without blink, without any splash damage in sight. And so there is an incentive for you, even if Terran is on one base, to try to whittle down their army to a manageable size, even if the trades aren't the best for you. But it's a fine line you have to walk. It's very dangerous as a protoss player because one bad engagement, as we saw there, can start to snowball in Terran's favor, and then suddenly you're on the back foot. You can't really take any good follow-up engagements there as Protoss, and things start to fall apart.
Yeah.
And frankly, probably most other Protoss players in this tournament in PBT are going to kind of look a little bit more like this, where, you know, the way that you open up, the path that you take to getting to Blink Stalkers and Colossus at the third base is going to be different, but more often than not, you're going to try and end up exactly here and be able to stabilize on those 3 bases, because only really truly then, unless you're doing some kind of crazy cheese like we saw on Royal Blood, are you able to truly start to play your game. Oh, this... I'll get scanned.
He's going to see that. That's unfortunate. Is he going to try to come towards here anyway, so let's be able to gun that down. Kind of a scary moment. Notice that there are 5 SCVs with this. So he's very committed. He's basically trying to leverage the repair to the point, and you know, he can, oh, he almost actually picks up that tank.
Yeah, he can also lift. There's no shield battery ready. Actually, Probe's going to get pulled, and the Oracle falls as well. So Classic in dire straits right now as Siege Tank volleys even hitting the probes. Ton of damage going down. Only 3 more Stalkers on the field. 20 probes already fallen, and I think in the blink of an eye, Maru's going to be advancing from Group A.
Yeah, I guess it is.
I think it is, man.
Man, you know, Maru has such a good handle on like what needs to be done in these very, very specific situations. By the way, that's going to be at the snowballing with the tank repair.
Yeah, there was a Liberator in the main base behind that.